Hey, hello everybody. Good afternoon. We're coming to you live from Babcha's. And I'm sitting over here with Ron, whose wife is the Chef Boyardee over here, making it happen. I've ordered some perogies and some keilbasa, sauerkraut. I'm hoping that it's just like Grandma makes. So hopefully we'll be able to enjoy that soon. But in the meantime, Ron's agreed to read a chapter from Matthew with me, chapter 4. So we'd like to do that. And then you can post your comments below, tell us what you think, and maybe we'll share some of our thoughts about it. Sounds cool, Ron? Yeah, all right. So I'll start it off, right? And this is basically starting out. It says, "Then Jesus was led by the Spirit up into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. After he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, then he felt hungry. Also, the tempter came and said to him, 'If you are a son of God, tell these stones to become loaves of bread.' But in reply he said, 'It is written, man must live not on bread alone, but on every utterance coming forth through Jehovah's mouth.' Then the devil took him along into the holy city, and he stationed him upon the battlement of the temple, and said to him, 'If you are a son of God, hurl yourself down, for it is written, he will give his angels a charge concerning you, and they will carry you on their hands, that you may," that you may at no time strike your foot against a stone. Jesus said to him, "Again, it is written, you must not put Jehovah your God to the test." Right? Don't tempt the Lord thy God, right? That's what they said. And verse 8, it says, "Again, the devil took him along to an unusually high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. And he said to him, 'All these things will I give you, if you fall down and do an act of worship to me.' And then Jesus said to him, 'Go away, Satan, for it is written, it is Jehovah your God you must worship, and it is to him alone you must render sacred service.' Then the devil left him, and the angels came and began to minister to him." Imagine somebody offering you, everything that you created. Like Jesus created everything. So how could this guy be like, "Hey, worship me, and I'll give you all of this stuff," right? Crazy. You want to read a little? Tell me if you read a little.
I'm not very good at this.
Go ahead. Just do what you can. Starts in 12 there.
12, when he heard, up here now,
Yeah.
Chat. These.
You want to put these on? Check these magnifiers out.
I don't know.
These are magnifiers.
Yeah.
So tell me if they work better for you. They're not prescription. They're just magnifiers.
Okay. Where are we here?
Right at the top again.
Okay. So I've been arrested. He withdrew into Galilee. Further after leaving Nazareth, he became took up residence Capernaum. Capernaum?
Yeah, it's Capernaum or...
You see, in the district of the Zebulun, and David's call. I don't know.
What was it called?
Naph.
Oh, Naphtali. Yeah.
I was spoken through Isaac. 15, the land of Zebulun,
Yeah, land of Zebulun.
and land of Naphtali, along the road to the sea, on the other side of the Jordan, Galilee. Is that right?
Yeah, Galilee. They're called the Sea of Galilee.
Okay, the nations, 16 people started sitting in the darkness, saw great light, and as for those still sitting in region of deadly shadow, light rose upon them, 17 from that time on. Jesus commenced preaching and saying, repent, for you have the kingdom of the heavens has drawn near.
Yeah.
Walking along the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon, who is called Peter. All right?
Yeah.
Peter. And Andrew, his brother, let him down the fishing line into the sea. And they were fishers. And he said to them, come after me.
John or Matt? Matt or John?
John. Thank you, buddy.
And he said to them, come after me, I will make you fishers of men.
Fishers of men. Yeah.
20 at once abandoned and the nets. They followed them. They followed from there. He saw two others who were brothers, James his son, Zebulun, and John his brother. And the boat was Zebedee, I guess.
Zebedee, yeah, that's his father. They were the sons of Zebedee.
Mending their nets and called them. They called to them. At once leaving the boat and the father.
23 is just the number of the verse. You could just skip the numbers.
Throughout the whole Galilee, preaching in the synagogues, preaching good news of the kingdom, hurry, very sort to this one.
648. Change is 1350.
Thank you so much.
One people, 24, report about them went out to all Syria, and they brought him to all those there. That's it?
Got a little bit more, I think. The next page. It's just pages are so skinny, they stick together. Yeah, it's just right here, this last chapter, last verse.
Badly distressed with various diseases and torments, demon possessed and epileptic and paralyzed persons. When he cured them, 25 consequently great crowd don't know if I'm reading this right or not.
Yeah.
Consequently, great crowds followed him from Galilee and Decapolis
Right.
and
Yeah, so he had great crowds following him, right?
when he saw the crowds, he went up to the mountain and he sat down with his disciples. The disciples came to him.
Yeah, so you're going into number 5. That's good. 4 is good. So what do you think about that? Let me say that.
I don't know that much about it.
Well, Jesus walks up to a couple of fishermen,
Yeah.
you know, Peter and Andrew, right? Peter and Andrew, they were like brothers on a boat fishing.
Yeah.
And then Jesus walks up to them and says, you know, follow me, like, and I'll
You got
make you.
number 1, right?
Yeah.
I charged you wrong.
Yeah, I was going to give you the money back because I think you gave me the money you're supposed to keep, and the 6 change I'm supposed to get back.
Well,
Something like that. Whatever it is, you'll work it out.
Yeah, okay.
So he just walks up and he sees these guys. They never seen him before. You know, and he walks up and he says, follow me, I'll make you fishers of men.
Sure.
And it says that they just put down their nets and left.
Yeah. Yeah. I can
You know,
see
it's
that.
so like powerful, right?
Sure, yeah.
I mean, in the scriptures, it even talks about Peter having family.
Sure.
I don't know if he had kids. It doesn't say he had any children, but he says he has a wife. And so, you know, I just find it very interesting that he can walk up and then, you know, ask them to follow him, and they will.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and then that's what he asks us to do, right? So he wants us to follow him, and you know, at the same time, we're not leaving our families, but we're just listening to him and learning from him and acting like that, acting like him and behaving like him, you know. And it's just so interesting that those guys being fishermen, you know, normally fishermen are like tough guys,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So if somebody like comes up behind them, you know, they're like, man, what are you talking about? You know, they're probably, you know, talking like sailors or talking like truck drivers, right? And then he goes a little further and he sees the 2 sons. The father, Zebedee, is the name of the father. And he goes in a little bit further and he asks them two to get in the boat, John and James. And they were called like the sons of thunder, which is interesting because sometimes you hear people talk about that and it's like, you know, what does that really mean? Those guys must have been like, you know, some like troublemakers or something, you know? Who knows? But they were just fishermen and they jumped in the, you know, jumped out of the boat, left their father, and went with him. So it's crazy.
Thank you for waiting. I gave you an extra pierogi.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to that.
Okay. That's the difference right there.
All right, cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, so that's interesting. And then, you know, it's talking about how, you know, he gets tempted, right? When he goes into the, you know, for 40 days or 40 nights, he gets tempted. He didn't have any babchas, perogies, right? Or keilbasa to eat or anything for that matter. And, you know, and then he gets tempted by the devil. And the devil is tempting him, telling him, you know, to make bread out of stones. And what does he say to him? He says, man cannot live on bread alone. You know, so it takes a very powerful person, a strong person to be hungry, you know, and have the ability to turn rocks into bread and not do it. You know? But it's like very powerfof. I'll take those back. I want to just read this. Let me see this. It says that, what he said, and then he says it takes him up and offers him the whole, all of the nations. And it's so interesting because he's the guy who, you know, Jesus is the one who created it all. So how could you offer him something he can create, you know, and he could create again? So it just leads me to believe that, you know, Satan is, you know, although he's tricky and he's tempting all the time, he's not smart, right? Or he doesn't know everything like you think he would know. And so it's really interesting. And then after he leaves and he's done, he can't seem to make any headway with Jesus. He leaves him, and then actually angels themselves come and minister to him, and then feed him. And then he finds out, it says that he found out that John went to jail. John the Baptist, just finished baptizing him not long before, 40 days ago, because it was like he got baptized. And then he goes into this wilderness to be tempted right after he's baptized. And so it just speaks to the fact that, it's when people find the Lord or find Jesus and make Jesus part of their lives, right afterwards, like there's this season of temptation, right, where like the adversary, the devil, is trying to pull you back down. And it's like trying to convince you that whatever you did was not important or was wrong, or you don't have to stay that way or whatever. And it's that time where I think we're all tried to see if we'll hang on to what we know. And those who survive it, doesn't mean that you're going to have an easy life, but it means that, at least you're hanging on to what you know. And then right after that, Jesus goes out and he heals all of these sick people and, helps all of them with all these different diseases and stuff. And it's just so interesting that, he goes from chapter 3, he was just being baptized, to chapter 4, where he's being tempted, but he starts recruiting the 12, right? And he pulls the first 4 of the 12 right from that Sea of Galilee. And so it was Peter, Andrew, James, and John, those first 4. And then he takes them, and right away he starts healing people that were distressed with various diseases and torments, demon-possessed, and epileptics, and paralyzed persons, and he cured them. I know that if he has the power to cure people with these kind of illnesses, sometimes I have like little problems, right? And I know he can help me with those things. So I just know that if we stay focused on the example that he made for us, that we're going to be better off.
Sure.
You agree, Ron?
Yes.
Yeah. Everybody, so that's John and Ron from Watkins Glen, New York. Crazy out here, absolutely beautiful. Went to see the Glen today. That was an amazing thing to watch how the water just literally cut through this place and made that beautiful scenery.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable. Up and down there, but the lake here, Seneca Lake, is this great big lake out here with one of the Finger Lakes in New York. And absolutely wonderful to see that with my own eyes. I'm grateful that God has brought me here, allowed me to come here and to sit down and talk with Ron about these things and to share them with you, and look forward to seeing your comments below, or whatever you think that about the scriptures that we just read in chapter 4, Matthew. If you'll share some insight with us, that would be awesome. I'd love to learn more about it, a different perspective about it. But for Ron and I right now in Seneca, I've got some of Babcha's perogies and keilbasa. I'm gonna go staying at this hotel right across the street. I'm gonna go back over there. I'm gonna eat that, and then I'm gonna go put a review online for these guys. They got 5 stars already, so we'll see if we give them another 5 stars.
Great.
But signing off right now from Watkins Glen, Finger Lakes, New York. Babcha's. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks, Ron. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you for helping me to share the gospel with these people.
Great.
All right.